Amazon just quietly added a new feature to their ads that's going to be game-changing for sellers looking to cut ACoS on their PPC. It's only been a few weeks since this was released and we're already producing incredible results from it. I'm Chris Rawlings. I'm one of the single top spenders of Amazon ads on the platform with over 2.8 million in monthly Amazon PPC ad spend alone. And this change came with no fanfare, no big announcement, no buzz, no hype. But it's already allowed us to cut ACoS and boost profitability significantly on the products that we've tested it on. And I'll get into that in a second, but here's what the change actually is. It's the ability to target audiences in your sponsored products ads. This capability was just released and a lot of accounts don't even have it yet. You'll know if you have it by going to your ads console, clicking create campaign, clicking sponsored products, and then scrolling down to the bid adjustment field. Now, this is the tricky part here, and this is why this release actually isn't really being talked about. It's that even though this is a targeting option, it doesn't show up in the targeting field, but this is also why it's gonna be your secret weapon, because that's why this has gone unnoticed and a lot of sellers aren't even testing it. But we just used it to help us launch a product in the last few weeks in a very hyper-competitive category, skincare, and we did it at a very high margin. Now, what I'm gonna do in this video is I'm gonna show you how to set up and use this new feature, and I'm also gonna walk you through some of the campaigns that we've used it on and their economics so you could see what results it's producing now. So the way to set this up is you're just gonna go to your advertising console, click Campaign Manager, then you're gonna create campaign, then go to sponsored products. Now here you're going to select a product that you want to advertise. You're going to select what kind of targeting you want. So say you're going to use manual targeting, keyword targeting. This is like the most, basic common type of targeting, and say I'm targeting broad and maybe just one of my most common keywords. I'm going to scroll down and say I'm going to use down only bidding, the most common. Once I get to bid adjustments, there's actually a hidden type of targeting in here now that was just added called audiences. Now this is under the bid adjustments area, but what it actually is a new type of targeting. Because what it does is if you click here, increase bids for audiences built by Amazon, it's gonna give you this little drop down under audience and it says choose an audience. When you drop down this, there's 3 options here. And these are incredibly powerful options that Amazon has just served up to us. Those of you guys who have seen my video on brand tailored promotions or have tested out brand tailored promotions, you're gonna recognize these as pretty similar to some of the audiences that you get inside brand tailored promotions. And that is also a very powerful tool. If you don't know that, I'm gonna link to that video at the end of this video. You're gonna wanna watch that right after this. But here's the 3 audiences that we have the ability to increase our bids for. So the first one is purchased brands product. So if we hover over this, Amazon gives us a little more info. The purchased brands product audience includes people who have purchased a product from this brand within the last 3 months. So that means essentially this is retargeting. You're retargeting people who have already purchased the product. Now, the reason that there's a blurred line here between whether this is targeting or whether it's just another bidding option is that this isn't just targeting those people. You're still targeting whoever you put in the targeting tab, whether it's automatic targeting, manual targeting, keyword targeting, product targeting, but you're changing the bid based on these particular audiences. So you're making it more likely that these audiences are going to see the ad within that targeting band that you put in place. So once again, this goes along with the theme that's happening on Amazon, that happened on Meta, that happened on Google over the past couple of years, which is Amazon wants you to give it more leeway. This is yet another piece of evidence that you don't want to spend too much of your budget on super highly exact targeting types, like exact match keyword targeting. That's still very important and it's still really good to drive ranking, but you don't want to spend a majority of your budget on that because they're performing worse and worse compared to targeting types that allow Amazon more leeway so that its algorithm can decide where and when to show your product. And there's a balance there, right? Because you don't want to just leave an auto campaign on and let Amazon make all the decisions. That's definitely going to waste your ad spend. But you also don't want to be hyper specific and think that you're smarter than the algorithm, because you're not. Okay, that was a side tangent. Let me go into these other 2 audiences because these are the ones that are really powerful. But first, I got to take a sip of my hojicha. Some hojicha for fuel. Okay, let's get into this. So, high likelihood to purchase based on recent shopping activity. That one is incredible. Look at this. The high likelihood to purchase based on recent shopping activity audience includes people whose recent purchase interactions indicate a high likelihood to purchase the advertised product. This means Amazon is basically telling you, look, our algorithm took all the data from the entire space, from the entire marketplace, and from all of your purchases, clicks, and impressions. And we have determined that there is some subsect of the audience that is most likely to purchase your product. And now we're going to give you the opportunity to target them more strongly using a bid adjuster on them. Dude, this is game changing. This is huge. And this is why this was actually the audience that we tested this first with. And we've already had really good results from it, which I'm about to walk you through after we go through this how-to. But first, let's talk through this last and third audience, which is clicked or added brands product to cart. So this one is audience includes people who have clicked or added to the cart within the last 3 months but haven't purchased. This is another super powerful audience. And like I said before, for those of you guys who have tested out brand tailored promotions, you'll know this is our favorite audience that you're able to target with brand tailored promotions. It works really, really well. It's super low hanging fruit. They already found your product, they already added it to their cart, and they just probably forgot about it. So this targets only them. But again, the one we're most excited about and the one that we're testing out first is high likelihood to purchase based on recent shopping activity. This is just Amazon handing us the best possible customers on a silver platter. So we're gonna select that one. And then what we're gonna do is input a bid adjuster. Now, could you just put in 900% the max right away? Yes, you could. But this tends to not work really well. It kind of short circuits Amazon. They prefer you to do bid adjusters of 20 to 30% at a time. So start with 20% and you can always up it as time goes on. Then you're gonna put in your daily budget and then launch the campaign. Now this all sounds good in theory, but how likely is it that this is actually gonna produce results from us in the way that we want? Well, I'm gonna walk you through some real campaigns right now from a launch that we just executed in the last few weeks that went exceptionally well in a highly competitive category. And this was one of our core strategies for the launch. Now check this out. First of all, here is our sales within the brand up until the launch. And you can see we started the launch just a couple weeks ago and then blam, it has exploded our sales. We're doing about 3 times the daily sales that we were doing before. And by the way, this isn't just us like artificially like pumping ad spend into this product unprofitably. These are profitable sales. In this category, the sales that we're getting, which are at about 34% ACoS, are super lean and really profitable because there's a long lifetime value on this product. This is a consumable product in the skincare niche. So usually we'd be willing to pay up to 100, 120, 130, 140% ACoS because we know we'll on average get about 5 to 7 purchases of the product throughout a year. So that is a back calculated lifetime ACoS or LACoS of only around 15 or 25%, which if you're a consumables brand, you have to be able to do that calculation. So this is an effective LACoS in the low single digits, which is absolutely nuts. Now, I'm not going to attribute the whole success to this new audience targeting, but I do think that that was definitely part of it because if you look into the stats, you can see that those placements for those particular targeting bid adjustments worked better than the other placement bid adjustments. Because if you look at the data, you can see that those placements with those audience bid adjustments performed a lot better. So let's take a look at the actual campaigns for the launch, right? So the top spending campaign with an ACoS of 32%, we put the audience bid adjuster at 30%. So let's click into this and look at it. So to see how we're performing, we've got to click on the campaign, go to bid adjustments, and then we're going to scroll down, and this is what's going to show us this new audience bid adjustment. Man, has this view changed in the last couple of weeks, right? Just in the last, well, I'll say the last 2 or 3 months, this went from just showing top of search, rest of search, and product pages to showing that plus Amazon business placements plus audiences. So now there's so many different options and the bid adjuster is now more important than the bid. We've reached the point where there's so many options on bid adjusters because Amazon wants to give you more leeway to promote your campaigns and your ads to specific areas of the site or specific audiences or specific segments of your audience, that this is actually more important than the bid itself at this point. So to check out how we're doing, we're going to click audiences and then you can see this is the one we tested that I was saying is our favorite. high likelihood to purchase based on recent shopping activity. We put a bid adjustment at 30%, and let's take a look at the stats here. So the ACoS on that was 20%, whereas the ACoS on the campaign total was 32%, meaning that that audience did perform significantly better than the rest of the campaign. Dang, that's pretty awesome, right? That means if that audience didn't exist, this campaign would have been doing maybe, the average wouldn't have been brought down. So it would have been doing maybe a 38% total ACoS. And we were able to add 97 sales from this campaign at a 20% ACoS, which is pretty amazing, especially in skincare. That's bonkers, guys. That's like crazy stuff. Okay, let's look at the second best performing campaign here with the second highest amount of sales generated during the launch period. This campaign did also really well, 25% ACoS. This is a sponsored brand video campaign, and we did not include the audience bid adjuster there, but you can do this in sponsored brands as well. Sponsored brands allows you to use this same kind of audience targeting. All you have to do to apply this to a sponsored brand video campaign is click create campaign, go to sponsored brands, click video, input the rest of your campaign settings, and then under campaign bid adjustments, you're going to click increase bids for audiences built by Amazon, and then you can choose your audience there. And this is how you apply this kind of audience targeting to your sponsored brands campaigns. Now, this is still a pretty new feature. We didn't want to put it on every single campaign. So we just created this sponsored brand video campaign like we normally would, targeting keywords that we know are hyper relevant for the product. You can see this campaign did really well. Video campaigns are money. If you guys aren't running them, you gotta run them. Inside my company, Sophie Society, we make this essentially almost a requirement for all of our brands and all of our products, because at this point, we view it as like one of our secret weapons. Any brand that's not running sponsored brand video ads, they're competing against us, they're probably not gonna win. But then looking at the next one down, again, and this is the lowest ACoS we've gotten so far in a campaign, down to the third highest selling campaign during the launch, we did a 60% audience targeting bid adjustment. Now let's take a look at that. So in this case, this was product targeting with an audience bid adjuster of 60%. So we went in, we clicked manual targeting, we clicked product targeting, and then we put in some high volume competitors, ASINs. And then under the bid adjuster, we put 60% for the high likelihood to purchase. Now let's see how that performed. Again, this audience beat out the campaign as a whole. So you could see this audience produced 19.8% ACoS, whereas the campaign as a whole produced 23.68% ACoS. Once again, that is awesome. That brought down the average ACoS for the campaign significantly. And if we didn't have that audience targeting bid adjuster on there, the campaign would have performed worse. The ACoS would have been higher. So this is saving us money. It's increasing our margin. It's allowing us to pull more profit, and it's allowing us to launch much more aggressively. It's like a secret weapon. Okay, let's look at the next campaign down. So the fourth highest selling campaign during the launch. This one, we did not use the audience bid adjuster. You could see it's still getting a good ACoS. We did broad match and broad modified for particular keywords that were really important to this brand. I'm not going to jump into that. If you guys want to learn about how to set up campaigns like that, I actually have something that I can give you. I'm going to link to it in the description. This is a complete library of all of our top performing campaign setups with a step-by-step guide on what to put in each of the fields so that you can set them up yourself for your brand. It also includes a 1 to 2 minute Loom video showing the campaign being set up so that there's no way for you to get lost. If you want to download that, just click the link in the description of this video and you can download it right there. So let's move on to the fifth best performing campaign. This is a sponsored product campaign targeting keywords but phrase match, and we have a rest of search bid modifier at 40%, and then we put just a small bid modifier for audiences at 15%. So let's see how that one did. Okay, this time we're going to click into bid adjustments and let's compare what the different placements performed as compared to the audience placements. We have top of search, rest of search, and product pages. So top of search was really not getting much. Rest of search was getting a 37% ACoS, and product pages were getting a 62% ACoS. So the best on this was rest of search, which is not a surprise because we had a pretty high bid adjuster on the rest of search and the other two did not have any bid adjusters. Now let's check how the audience placement did. Okay, so going over to the audience placement, we can see the ACoS once again has beaten it out at a 22% ACoS compared to 35 and 61 for the other two bid adjustments, which were rest of search and product pages. So this, yet again, is outperforming the rest of the campaign. You can see the campaign total has a 42% ACoS. This particular audience Again, the highly likelihood to purchase based on recent shopping activity had an ACoS of 22%. Awesome. But does this work every time? Let's find out. So here's a campaign where we did product targeting, but with expanded clicked instead of exact clicked. And this time we put an audience bid adjuster of 20%. So let's take a look at this one. So we got an 11% ACoS on this audience with a 47% average ACoS for the campaign. So yet again, this audience targeting outperformed the performance of the rest of the campaign. So far, I don't know about you guys, but I'm liking this. Let's take a look at one more and then I'm gonna wrap up and give you guys my final thoughts on this. Okay, so this campaign, this was a sponsored product campaign. This one targeting particular keywords in a particular shopper intent. And if you don't know what I mean by that, check some of the other videos on my page. I talk about this a lot. You always wanna group your keywords by shopper intent. You'll see this in my upcoming keyword research video I'm about to release for you guys. We did a top of search bid adjuster of 50% because we wanted to dominate that group of keywords. And again, we added the audience bid adjuster of 20%. Let's take a look at the campaign. Okay, clicking into bid adjustments and then audiences. Let's see how the audience targeting did compared to the rest of the campaign. Okay, so audience targeting with highly likelihood to purchase based on recent shopping activity had 21% ACoS, whereas the campaign as a whole had 32% ACoS. So yet again, we're 5 for 5. This targeting works better than the rest of the campaign. Now I know what you guys are gonna say here. So isn't this cannibalizing some of the success that my campaigns would have had anyway? It's just serving the ad up to them sooner. That may or may not be the case. These people probably do overlap with people who would have searched for the keyword and found you in some other placement anyway. And they're not showing up anywhere different on Amazon. They're still showing up top of search, rest of search, product pages. Those are the only places that sponsored product ads show up in the first place. It's just showing them to particular people instead of to particular searches and on particular listings, which is a huge diversion from what sponsored products always has been before. The only way to target audiences in the past was by using sponsored display or DSP ads. Now Amazon is changing that, and we love this. This is great. Inside Sophie, we can't wait to use this and adapt it to all of our brands and use it as yet another secret weapon to allow us to absolutely clean up in every niche that we're in and dominate the competitive landscape, especially against other sellers who are running less sophisticated Amazon ads because they just don't know how to do it right. So we're excited about this. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. By the way, this is still a pretty small channel. I've been on YouTube for a really long time. I've been advertising on Amazon for 10 years, but my channel in particular is actually pretty new. So it's still pretty small. So if you're watching this, you're probably one of the few people that are actually seeing this, which is awesome. Pop a comment if you have thoughts about this, or you want to test it out, or you have tested it out, or you have concerns about it or questions about it. I answer every single comment because again, the channel is still pretty small. So I'm really looking forward to hearing from you guys. And for those of you guys that are looking for a partner to help you take over PPC for you and help you grow your brand profitably, that's what my company Sophie Society does. So if you're interested in talking to us about taking over the management of your PPC so that you can focus on other elements of your business and work on your business instead of in your business, click the link to my website in the description of this video, sophiesociety.com, and you can go and see if you apply to be one of our PPC partners there. Now, earlier in this video, I talked about another video I have on brand tailored promotions, which allows you to target very similar audiences to this, including the one about people who have added the product to their cart but not purchased it. This works really well for us. And if you're interested in finding a way to basically get a guaranteed ACoS of 20% on every single sale, that's essentially what this is, even though it's technically not Amazon PPC. It's basically guaranteed ACoS sales. You're not guaranteed the amount of sales, but you are guaranteed to have a set spend on every single sale. So imagine if I told you like there's an ad type that allows you to get a guaranteed 20% ACoS every time, you'd be like, heck yeah, that's what brand tailored promotions is. So check out that video here and I will see you over there.